Well, welcome to Austria, my latest vlog. It's August 2022. I actually arrived here yesterday, but I was too knackered to be doing any filming or anything. Literally got the rods out and crashed out. So if we backtrack, me and my wife, Caroline, came to Austria quite a few years ago now on a Christmas trip, and we stayed in Salzburg. Beautiful it was, and obviously there was a lake or two close by to our hotel, so one morning went for a walk and had a walk around the lakes and that, and just looked absolutely beautiful. It did, in a valley, pine trees, you know, evergreens all the way around it. I don't know if it was a carp lake or not. It was December. It was, there was no one about, but just looked beautiful. And I just thought, oh, I'd love to come over here at some point. It's taken a few years with coronavirus, you know, pandemic, having to cancel trips and so on and that, and then having been messed around with another lake here in Austria and that, taking my money, refunding my money, stuff like that. So basically it's third time lucky, and I finally made it. So where am I? I'm on a lake called Carp Center R2, or Resort 2. There's 3 lakes here. It's about half an hour to the east of Graz in southeast Austria. It took me 20 hours door to door to drive here from my home to here, Friday afternoon to Saturday lunchtime. Just over 1,000 miles or something like that. I have to say, if I had the holidays and that, I wouldn't recommend you going on your own. I'd really go with a friend and share the drive in, or maybe even stop off halfway somewhere in Germany, just to break it up. But I couldn't really afford that. I've got no more work holidays and that, so I just had to slog it and go all the way. I was struggling, I'll be honest, between 3 and 6 o'clock driving and that, and eventually stopped and had a coffee break and some breakfast and that sort of perked me up again, and I was good to go basically, and hit back on the road. And then as I come into Austria, around I think it's Linz, there's the A9 autobahn between Linz and Graz, and the scenery there, sort of the edge of the Alps, beautiful, absolutely. You couldn't sleep. It was just stunning, the views. Tunnels dotted with loads and loads of tunnels all the way along. It's about 2.5 to 3 hour drive, but it was just, the scenery was just beautiful. So yeah, and then obviously as you come out the last tunnel out of eastern Graz and then heading towards the lake, I'll say half hour to go. It was just, yeah, absolutely just buzzing, really exciting. As soon as I pulled in and saw the sign on the corner of R1, it's like, yes, made it. And every swim bar swim 8 opposite was taken when I got here. I booked this swim where I'm in now for the first weekend, and then I'm going to be moving in the next couple of hours across to the swim to swim 9. So I'm in swim 1 at the moment because this was free for the weekend, or swim 8. Swim 9's free for the rest of the week, so that's why I could book it from Sunday to the Saturday. I couldn't book this one. I think this one's taken next weekend. You can book week, midweek, week, full week, weekend, stuff like that. So yeah. So obviously I've got this for 24 hours and then I'm moving across. So I was just opportune fishing last night. Obviously didn't put a lot of bait out. I did notice the anglers on here, they're all putting like, you know, a bucket out, probably 5 kilos or whatever rod. So I just went light, just a little sprinkling, but nothing's obviously occurred as yet. I see one show on dark, not that far out, and I've got 2 not that far out either, but nothing came of it, and no one caught last night, and everyone's gone now. There's only me left, so I assume I'll have the lake for myself tonight, and then we'll see if anyone turns up Monday midweek fishing. So the lake itself, it's probably around 10-12 acres. I don't know the actual depths at the moment. I found about 13 foot. It could be deeper, I'm not sure. 60 fish to mid 80s, 39 point something kilos is the biggest fish, a mirror that I know of, or that's the lake record at the moment. So that's about 86, something like that, pounds. I suppose it'll do. No, to be honest, obviously I come over here and obviously I'm just hoping to catch. That's all. Today, if I'm honest folks, today's my birthday, so obviously that's, you know, chances of me catching slim, but you hope that maybe something will happen on my birthday and catch a birthday fish. But being that I'm moving swims and everything and that, and I'm just starting, I don't think it's probably going to happen, but you never know. Maybe tonight, once I've moved over and got everything all sorted and found some spots, then maybe I'll get lucky. But basically, obviously, main target really is to try and catch my first Austrian carp. I don't care what size, it could be £5, I don't care. Obviously, when you come out and you do these sort of long journeys and that, you're always hopeful of a big old monster. I ain't going to say no to a 50-pounder. That would be the main aim. The big sort of cherry on the cake, but anything will do. It's for, I've been here less than a day, so a fish would do. And we'll just see. It's like I say, it's 10 acres, 60 fish. I'm not exactly going to empty a place and have like 10, 20 fish, am I? I think 2 or 3 fish is probably good going. So I've got to set, realistic expectations and targets. So try and catch one. There was a few people on and off this weekend, I think 6 or 7 this week. The angler who was opposite me in swim 9, I think he was on Wednesday to this morning, Wednesday to Saturday, and I think he had 1, maybe 2, but he had quite a good one. I think it was 29 or 30 kilos, so about mid-60. There was an angler to my left, he had 3, a koi, probably about 20 pounds, and 2 mirrors of low 30s. One of those was on a zig, so I might have to keep that in mind. And I think one other might have caught 2 fish. I think they had to wait 3 nights until they caught, and then they had 2, and then another 2 or 3 nights of nothing. But that's the way it is, I suppose. And a couple of others, I think 3 others blanked this week. So that's basically, what you've got to expect on this sort of lake. In hindsight, probably should have booked R1. It's the easier. It's got more fish in it. But there we go. It is what it is. And then R3 is a mixed one. It's cats and carp. And I think all 3 have got 70-pound plus carp in. But I don't fancy the cats, I'm afraid. I'm just not my thing. I know I'd bloody catch one knowing me. So yeah, R3's out for me. But if you like, big old catfish and that, then yeah, they go to about 2.5 metres in length, whatever that is, 150 pound or something. But yeah, maybe R1 would have been the better option coming over here for the first time. But hey, I'm on Big Fish Lake now, so let's see what happens. 6 nights to go. Oh, yes, absolutely buzzing. Oh, loving it, loving these trips. Well, welcome to my latest vlog. Hopefully we'll be speaking again later on in the week with a nice big fat wet fish. Yeah. It's day 3 and I'm finally off the mark in Austria. Oh. Had this about 20 minutes ago. It's a right battle royale, but what a fish to open me account on the lake and from the country. Just shy of the ultimate mark. I think she's splashed the lens, but we'll see how it goes. So let's see if I can hold her up. I can always talk about her afterwards, can't I? Come on. Is that the way? Don't want you catching on that. Come on. Just shy of 50 pounds Austrian common, 49.5 to be exact. I'll talk about all the details later because she's angry. Oh yes, is that a fish or what? Well, it's Wednesday, 4 nights in, 3 nights to go. It's over the halfway mark. And I've still only had that one fish, that common, which I had yesterday, but nothing last night, nothing this morning. It really gone quiet. The fish were fizzing and showing on the Monday in the two opposite swims, 1 and 2, a lot throughout the day and the evening. Then the really heavy rain, downpour throughout the night for a good 12 plus hours, and that really kicked them into a feeding spell. And I managed to catch that common just before first light yesterday morning. It carried on fizzing a little bit out there, and I saw a couple of shows in the opposite swims, but nowhere near as much as the day before. And as the day wore on, the clouds lifted, it cleared, started getting warmer. It wasn't really hot, but probably around 20 degrees. So it was still quite humid and clammy, but not really hot. But they just sort of switched off about 5 o'clock. I see a few fizzes on my spot, and then it just sort of petered away really. And I just knew last night that I think it was going to happen, and that was the case. Literally had a liner this morning, which was probably a predatory fish chasing the small fish in close, and that's it. I can't really move swim or anything like that. You pay for your swim basically, so that's it. I'm here, so I've got to try and move my rods, try something else. So basically, behind my shoulder here, you can see these rushes. So I've had a rod on those rushes for 3 days, 3 nights now, and nothing. I've not seen anything along that whole margin. I thought on the opposite margin, I have seen the odd show. It seems quite popular over there. I've seen a few people come and go, and those margins get fished a lot, but I don't know what it is with this set of margins here, with the gravel workings behind, but fish enough noisy places, I can't think it would really affect them, but just don't seem to have got over there. So I've got to do something, so I've moved it. So I've moved it off the reeds, and I've moved it off, it's probably about 80 yards, just to the left of an island out there, maybe just a fraction short, but it's sort of, is the odd sort of stone that is silty with just the odd hard spot. And if you go a bit further, there's a bar. I think that's probably where people fish generally, just past the island. I'm just staying in the silt, and I've just put a little bit of bait out there today, about 1 kilo, that's all, and I've cast it out basically, 20 wraps. And then the conditions, as you can see, it's looking really good. I don't know, and obviously it's my first time here to this venue, so I don't know what conditions do and how the fish react, but it's the first wind in 4 or 5 days. It's been flat calm Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, with literally hardly a breath. So to have this, I'm just hoping, and it's obviously pushing in the right direction towards me, that maybe that will push a few fish back into my area, because they just seem to, they were out there, like I say, on the Monday long, and they obviously drifted into me during the night, and I was getting lots of knocks and bleeps and liners and that, and eventually had the take. Probably should have had more. If I'd have known more about the venue, no spots, then I would have thought with those conditions should have had probably 2 or 3 bites. But obviously I had the one, I can't complain. It's stonking common. And then the next day it was the same. It was sort of a repeat really. Sort of lunchtime they started again feeding in the same sort of area, and swims opposite. There was a couple of shows, but nowhere near as many. On the Monday I'll probably see about 10, 12 shows, 1 or 2 good fish, cleared the water. And then yesterday I think it was 2. I think I see 2 shows, and then in the evening, and then it just petered out. And then to me right, there's a person a couple of swims down to me right. It just all started fizzing up round there around tea time, around 7, 8 o'clock. They just seemed to move round. They didn't carry on fizzing or feeding, just moved round and started again. So, and then this morning I've clocked them even further down in the corner in swim 6. I can still see patches and bubbling going on when it was calm this morning, but this wind has slowly picked up throughout the day. So we will see. Got 3 nights. I've not put any more bait over, so I've got 2 rods on the spot where I caught, and I've not put any more bait on that today. I've left it. Like I said, I did see a few little bits of fizzing and that yesterday, but after I'd had the fish, but nothing since. So I'll just have to see what occurs and reassess tomorrow. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have some tea, and then I'll probably get some kit for a few hours. Then I plan to get up early in the morning, about 1, 2 o'clock, and I'm just going to sit up and listen see if I can hear anything, see if they can help me pinpoint where they are, what they're up to, because I have heard a few fish crashing at night. So woken me up, and I've got up and I've had a look, tried to work out the bearings where it was, but I've not seen any. It's quite dark here, so I've just not been able to see any ripples and work out where that crash came from. Was it me left, me right, out in front, on me? I just heard a crash and got up and come out and not been able to work out where it is. So I think I'm gonna get up early for a couple of hours and see if that can help me at all, and reassess tomorrow basically. Still got 3 nights, so I'm hopeful that at some point throughout the next 72 hours that fish will come back and venture around into my water, and maybe I'll get a second chance, and we'll see. Last day of the trip. They've been on me all afternoon. It's really hot. It's going to probably splash the lens. Let me. There you go. Let's see how that goes. Oh, got her into the margin quite easily, but just would not come up. Right. Right. Come on. One angry 35 pound. Come on. There you go. Whew. Yeah, it was really just would not come off the bottom in the margin, so I think I've got the fight, so hopefully you can see a bit of that. But finally, I've had my second of the trip. Like I say, they've been on me for a good 3-4 hours. I'm starting to wonder if it wouldn't happen. Kept fizzing up, and I've got a couple of mallards sitting on top of the spot, picking up all the bits and pieces that the carp are kicking up off the bottom. So I sort of give the old spot away to everyone. And yeah, this is my reward. I say it's Friday, so I'll be heading home tomorrow. I was hoping for 2 or 3 fish, and this is number 2. Well, sadly, that was the last fish of the trip. Friday afternoon, but yeah, left it not quite to the last moment, but not too far off. I got the rods back out for the Friday night, Saturday morning, but just didn't happen, to be honest. And to be honest, as sometimes these things happen, when I went to wind in after I'd packed up and out on the Saturday morning, the hook had burred over on one rod, and the other rod was snagged up on the back of the bar. It's all rocky and that. There's quite some savage rocks and stones and that in a couple of places, and I was fishing at the back of it, and obviously it must have dropped short, didn't know, and it got snagged up. The lead came free, but the hook had opened out on it. So obviously I weren't fishing on 2 of the three rods on the last night, which is a shame because there was a bit of fizzing going on the spot Saturday morning. But these things happen. But I'll be back in 2 or 3 years' time. Absolutely loved it on R2, and I know there's some special fish in that lake. So yeah, that brings this session to a close until the next trip. Thanks, folks, for watching.